Hey everyone, it's a dose of Dr. Drew.
Here we are, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll give you a chance to pile in. Got a bit to talk about, and it's mostly going to be us and the restream here, so join in on the chat, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Yeah, Robin, I agree. Exhale is a good idea. It's interesting. We're away at a different location right now, and again, as always, whenever I leave the state of California, I am stunned at how much more cooperative everything is rather than authoritarian. It's sort of wild. We are right now in a COVID bubble in Cabo San Lucas. We got down here and we're in a location where everyone's been tested. Yeah, everyone's been tested, and the people that come in and out wear masks, and so do we if somebody comes in and out. And so far, so good. Thank you, Luke. But we got a bunch to talk about here. Hi, mommies. Betty Boop is in there. So the only risk for us is as we travel, making sure we do our distancing. And planes, are one of the safest places to be. So it's interesting. The airport is more what I worry about than the plane itself. What about the hypocrisy of Chicago mayor out in the streets and no Thanksgiving? Yeah. What about Governor Newsom going to dinner parties with lots of people and then telling you, this is the part that I find so stunning. We are presently in an environment where we're being careful, and there's lots of state mandates here where we are, and people just cooperate with them. There's not somebody getting on TV every day telling them how to live. There's not somebody lecturing at them about the staggering numbers or the grim milestones. Not at all. So, in fact, all there is just sort of cooperation while people do what they're supposed to do, while we realize that there's a vaccine coming in a few months and we need to get to that vaccine and things will be so much better. Am I going to do something with Trisha Paytas again? Goodness, Aga? I don't know what that says. Yes, we are. We're going to do a special, something very special with Trisha and with Mr. Ethan at this. We're going to be testing them, and we'll let them tell you about it. What are my thoughts about someone who does sex work when they have a history of childhood trauma? Those are usually traumatic, and a lot of people do that, and a lot of people don't want to change that. But when they start to look at what's happening, they realize it's a traumatic reenactment, and usually do want to change it then and do something about what their behavior is. Andrew says, did I catch Trump's conference yesterday about vaccines and treatment? I did not, but I am looking at, and Andrew, please tell me here what it was that they said. So let's talk about the data for a minute. So we're in a big old outbreak. There's no doubt about that. We need to be careful. I find it interesting that Governor Burgum in North Dakota finally did some shutdown maneuvers. He was trying to leave it up to the will of the people to cooperate, much like in the environment we are here, but people were not. So he mandated a few things, and I think that's probably the better part of valor. So we need to do the things we know that mitigate a transmission, because this thing is spreading like crazy and will eventually get to high-risk people. Now, having said that, the hospitalization is, this is not my house, Lindsay. This is, what is the hashtags here? This is Casa Edwards, and it's hashtag Desert Cabo? Desert Cabo? Okay. Andrew Ashkavili said there's more coming very soon. Well, we know for sure the monoclonal antibodies and the combination of monoclonal antibodies are definitely coming like in the next week or two. We know the Moderna vaccine is coming very soon. We have Elon Musk questioning the veracity of the testing, which is really an interesting thing. No one has addressed yet. But that is something that needs to be looked at. I'm looking at huge hypocrite. It says a study shows that 80% of COVID patients are diagnosed with depression, insomnia within 90 days. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. That needs to be reproduced. We do know that there's a lot of neurological symptoms from COVID. In fact, the 1918 flu, right, the one that this is similar to, Dr. Menninger, who was one of the most famous psychiatrists of the 20th century, felt that all the schizophrenia he was seeing, all the bipolar disorder he was seeing, was related to the 1918 flu. Now, some of that may have been post-traumatic stress disorder from World War I, who knows, but there was definitely an association between serious mental illness and the 1918 flu. So it's not surprising that we would see that here. Como may not get the first vaccines. Great. Look, I'm going to get the vaccine. I cannot get it fast enough. I will get it as soon as I possibly can. My understanding is it will be used, distributed to physicians and healthcare workers through hospitals, I suspect. So let me go back to the comments about the outbreak. So we're having a significant, serious outbreak, right? We need to get it under control. And again, the same thing prevails from what I was saying earlier, which is the really intense outbreaks are in states where there had really not been one before. And Robert Simpson, I'm going to rely on the vaccine. 90% effective. Pretty good. I'll probably wear a mask and distance as well, but you can rely on the vaccine as a very, very, very significant protection against this thing. I'm also going to be working with that Additics company to see if there's any cross-reactivity with other coronaviruses that somebody may have some inert immunity where they might not even need the vaccine. So we'll have that in the new year, I think. So again, outbreaks in states where there have not been previous outbreaks, they need to get it under control. States like New York starting to move a little bit. I understand they're doing some lockdowns. That's sort of reasonable. The fact of the matter is that what's interesting to me is California, Texas, and Florida, 3 very different states, large populations with very different approaches. Each one has a very different approach to this outbreak. And yet all 3, the sort of the graphs they're following are very, very similar. California actually doing the best. California is having a bit of an outbreak and the hospitalizations are following. The death rate continues down in California. Now, nationally, the death rate is up. Yeah, Michigan is pretty crazy right now. There are states where the death rate is going up. Again, states that not have had previous outbreaks. So be careful for people that are at risk. The death rate is going up, but the overall death rate in the country is now at about 1,000 to 1,200 per day, maybe as high as 1,500. There was a recommendation by one of the healthcare leaders, I think it was someone in the CDC, who said, we are at a point where there could be 2,000 deaths a day by today. I wrote it on my calendar because he said there would be 2,000 deaths by today. There are not. There's half that, essentially. But the fact that he predicted a significant uptick in the death rate, I want to give him some credit for that. Unfortunately, I can't remember who that was. Somebody is asking here about the effect of cannabis. People that are smoking a lot of pot tend to be younger. Let's just remind ourselves of that. And so already the probability of serious illness is very low in that population. Very low. I can't say that strongly enough. So let's talk and see what you guys are talking about. Psychological syndrome, psychic sabotage is creating melange, aka bad spirit. Robin, I don't know what that means exactly, but people are very upset by their helplessness at the authoritarian sort of approach of some states. Some have been good, some have been not. Do I believe a certain COVID affects certain blood types? There has been some evidence of that. There were 6 genes that were isolated that were associated with less severe syndrome, and blood type O was also associated with that. And then there was a couple genes that showed more significant illness. Again, these were early studies about the genetics of people with the illness. Blood type A was shown to have perhaps more problems than the blood type O. So, okay, deaths are down 30% from the spring. They were, and in certain states they are down. California, again, continues down even though the hospitalization is up. Heather McDonald's joining me right now.
Hello.
Slide in. Yep, just for a second. Slide, get closer. Susan, we're good here? Okay. I just want to say that doctors are encouraging hospitalization now as opposed to discouraging it as we had been in the previous surges. So now we're encouraging it. So it's hard to tell how much of this increase in hospitalization is us going, hey, come on in for these good treatments, the Regeneron and the Lilly monoclonal antibodies and the convalescent plasma, versus how much is really a function of the people getting sicker. So are you worried about,
Here we go.
Getting texts already. So Heather brought us into this COVID bubble, brought us down to Mexico, and we thank you for that.
Thank you. We've had such a nice time.
We really have. It felt like a normal life for a few days.
Yeah, we're staying in a huge private home. Everyone has their own kind of quarters, and yeah, it's been great. Oh my God, it's just gorgeous. Every day is gorgeous. It's breezy, and yeah, this is one of 35 properties. So it's really nice if people want to travel, but they don't want to go to the hotels.
Well, this is the way you can lock it down, people. You can shelter in place with friends that are all tested. We've all been tested multiple times, and nobody has it. Nobody has any risk for it. I mean, we can still get it. Let's be fair. I mean, it's possible whenever you move around. But we are being careful, and we are at relatively low risk.
We're not swingers, so no one's one's making out with someone other than their spouse.
Chris Frangiola made a couple of...
He seemed extremely into you.
Yeah.
almost like a weird
It was
love
weird.
affair.
It was weird.
But so far, people have only gotten together with their spouse.
Right, so far.
So I think that keeps the risk down too, right?
Yes, it does. Well, all kinds of things. That's good. And so people can find you on Juicy Scoop.
Yes, and then if you're interested in doing any places like this, it's bluedesertcabo.com.
Okay,
And just
Blue
you
Desert
can
Cabo.
search, yeah. And of course, Juicy Scoop. And I did just a great interview with Susan and Dr. Drew about their courtship, their love affair, keeping the marriage strong, and that's going to be Tuesday on Juicy Scoop.
Oh, good. That's when it
and
comes out?
I'm sure as much as you listen to Dr. Drew, you are going to find out things that there's no way you would have known.
So here's something brand new that's
Yes.
a Juicy Scoop.
What?
Susan asked me not to shave during this entire experience.
Yeah.
What do you think of this? Should I go all the way and get a sort of Kimmel look?
I mean, it was interesting that she just was like obsessed with it yesterday.
I know, it was
She goes,
weird. That was 2
"How
days ago.
is it?
2 days ago.
Like I've never seen you with any facial hair in 30 years, 30 plus years." And he's just like, I don't know, because I don't just shave every
I thought it
day.
looked like hell, that's why.
She would not stop. And I'm like, well, I think maybe you should see. She seemed pretty horny about it. So
we're doing it.
Yeah.
So I'll just start
Big
using
news.
clippers and no shave anymore. Right, Susan? Believe me, she'll let me know if it doesn't work. Trust me.
Yes.
So, and Heather will too. I have no doubt about that.
Yeah.
All right. So anything else you want to tell your fans out there? Where can they find you?
Yeah,
There you go.
enjoy the rest of the day, but
right.
everyone
So
stay
thank you.
safe.
I'm going to show you a video.
Uh-oh. Which
okay.
video? Which video are you showing? From what?
From yesterday.
Okay, this is the.
Yeah, what you're showing me right now, you're going to show me later. You know, you've seen it.
She's gonna air it. She's gonna stream it. Uh-oh. You sure?
Was it us, like, being cute? Okay, that's over there. Oh, good.
Well, we don't know. Here, she wants to hear for a second. She doesn't know. We don't know what it is you're playing.
Yes.
We have a special video.
Kelly Gallagher, I know there's been 2,000 deaths since Tuesday. That's correct. Are we all? Oh, she's playing you running on the beach.
Oh, running on the beach, everybody.
Is that what this is?
Is it me running on the beach?
Susan Pinsky.
Yeah, yes.
So we asked if it's running on the beach.
You got to explain this thing.
So my husband, Peter, he brought a lot of equipment just like Susan and Drew did so that we could do podcasts and, some videos.
Streaming.
And so he wanted me to run on the beach. And he was very specific. He wanted me to run past him and he wanted the water to splash up under my feet so it would like come up. I must have done it 3 times. I'm not even that athletic. Five. So then Susan was just filming the process. I was getting so tired. Every time I had to redo it, I started to laugh. I peed a little. And then the last time I completely tripped in the water. I don't even know how that's humanly possible. And Susan's been just like watching it on loop. So if you want it, where could they see that on your Instagram?
Yeah, it's on our Instagram.
Yeah.
So Instagram, which is Dr. Drew
I'll say
Pinsky.
it again.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Your excuse. Thank you, Heather. Thank you for all this. Somebody's asking if Max Flaws is asking if you can recover from the neurologic symptoms if the disease ever goes away. The theory is that in 6 months, most people are pretty much back. But there is such a thing as chronic disease. They used to call it neurasthenia back in the day, and we don't know. There will be a small number of people that get that, and we don't really know what that is. However, if you follow Dr. Yogendra, Dr. Yo, you will see that he and Dr. Patterson are working on a whole system of intervention with the long haulers, and there will be some scientific literature out soon on the use of steroids, the use of RANTES inhibitors, the use of IL-6 inhibitors, that kind of stuff, because they do think that this is a function of the activation of that cytokine system again, that it's chronic cytokine activation. And Kelly is asking, how much time do we need before we know the vaccine is 100% effective? There is no such thing as a medical intervention, 100% safe, you ask. There's no such thing as a medical intervention of any type, even walking into a doctor's office, that is 100% safe. Period. End of story. So when do we know that it's reasonably safe, that you don't have to worry about side effects? 6 months. 6 months, and some of the vaccine specialists want to wait until the more traditional vaccines are available, which will probably be late in the spring. And if you're young and don't have any real risk factors for COVID, I certainly understand wanting to wait until there's been some some water under the bridge, as we say, some experience with this thing. They have, again, 45,000 people have been tested with this, have been administered this, and there have been essentially no significant side effects. You can get a little fever and chills and arm ache and that kind of stuff, which is true of any vaccine. If you've had your Zoster vaccine, the Shingrix vaccine, I assure you, you know what I'm talking about. So everybody over 60 really is, everybody over 65 for sure is getting that vaccine and having an unpleasant weekend, but not getting shingles, which I promise you I had. Did you get the second part of your shingles vaccine, Susan? Did you get the second part of your shingles vaccine? Oh, you got to get that, because shingles is no fun. So yeah, I cannot get the vaccine fast enough. I'm happy to get it. Side effects of the vaccine are nil, Dominique. Nil, meaning just a little, fever or chills is the worst of it. Arm ache. Asthma attack, panic attack, or have COVID-19. You're coughing, freaking out. Kelly, don't let that happen. You're 47, you're fine. People with asthma under 60 do fine. It is somewhat a little trickier. They do fine. Vast, like 99%. And I will remind people that I have prostate cancer. I had my prostate out. When I had it out, they told me you have a 90% probability of cured. I considered that cured. So a 99% probability of making it through is you're going to make it through. Just learn to assess probabilities. You must do that. 60 no preconditions. Should you get the vaccine ASAP? Probably not. Particularly if you're not overweight and you don't have metabolic syndrome, probably ought to wait and let the people who are first responders and really at risk get it first. No, Kelly. Kelly, you're freaking out today. You're having panic attacks. The cannabis is not going to make any difference. You clearly are anxious, and I understand, and that's cool, but don't let the anxiety affect your judgment. And you're asking if you have a higher risk of dying if you smoke pot. No, not to my knowledge, and I'm certainly not if you're younger, because again, 99% probability you're going to go through just fine. Let's see, local lockdowns. I have no problem with local lockdowns. I think actually Mayor de Blasio was doing that in New York to some efficacy. No fishing, DJ, no fishing. All right, difference between an internal medicine doctor and a family medicine doctor. It's a different training. We in internal medicine, just all the subspecialty fields you hear about, like gastroenterologist and nephrologist and cardiologist and rheumatologist, all of that starts as internal medicine. So you do 3 or 4 years of internal medicine, and then you do 2 to 4 years of these specialized care. Family practitioners don't go into those subspecialties. Family practitioners also do surgery. We do not. They also do a lot of dermatology, pediatrics, geriatrics. They do more general sorts of medicine that are not as specialized in the non-surgical medical specialties. So I did, tons of cardiology and tons of intensive care. Family practitioner, not likely to be doing intensive care medicine. When will we get leronlimab? I don't know the answer to that. Tiffany isn't hearing me. I don't know what else to do for trying. I don't know what Ava's asking. The thread moves quickly, so if I miss your thread, just keep asking it. I'll eventually see it. I apologize that. Feelings on the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine. I don't know that it has. There's been speculation along that various vaccines have some cross-reactivity with the COVID. I would be hard-pressed to imagine that does. I had my measles, mumps, rubella I got it again about a year ago because there was a measles outbreak in Southern California. What's up?
Somebody said Heather looks like Bo Derek.
Oh, nice for Heather. That's good. Okay, someone in the chat said they prescribed Seroquel, Ambien, and Xanax for sleep. That is a terrible combination. You need to see a specialist. The Ambien and Xanax together should essentially never be prescribed together. The Seroquel can be used for sleep, but you have to take pretty big doses, and people don't like that because there are side effects. And the treatment for insomnia, Tiffany, I'm responding to you, is sleep deprivation. That's actually how they treat it. That's one of the ways to treat it these days. Alyssa, if I could get Elon Musk on the show, trust me, he would be on the show right now. Yeah, I saw the Seroquel, Xanax, and Ambien, and I would go see a specialist. Go see a psychiatrist who has experience in streamlining pharmacotherapies and getting people off things like the Xanax and the Ambien. Xanax and Ambien, highly addictive, should only under extraordinary circumstances be prescribed for more than 2 weeks. So go get another consultation. I think psychiatrist would probably be the best way to start. And Floramate 12 Benadryl do not help you for sleep. Two things about Benadryl. After 100 milligrams, it makes you not sleep. So 12 Benadryl is not working for you. And after about a week, you get something called tachyphylaxis where it doesn't work anymore. So you have to take breaks from the Benadryl. The protein-based vaccine, that is 90% good. Midnight Toker, I don't have an opinion about that right now. Milk thistle for liver function, Red Sox Sarah, I've never seen that to mean a damn to be really doing anything. There are some other supplements out there that might help in alcohol withdrawal and that sort of thing. But if you have liver problems, that's a medical issue and needs proper hepatology evaluation and management. Kelly, if you test positive, you stay at home. You have the 19-year-old in Michigan, she was told it's fine, stay in her dorm room, and she died. Yeah, Kelly Gallagher, I think a great way to approach, if you get COVID and you're anxious about it, what you should do is get a home, for $30, you can get a home O2 monitor for your finger and monitor your oxygen saturation. If your oxygen saturation drops into the 80s, by all means, go to the hospital. Not that, and the goal would be that you would get some of the fancier treatments in, not that you're going to get on a ventilator or that you're going to have respiratory failure. The goal would be that you go in early. The same thing is true if you were 65 or above and have risk factors and you start to get very sick, go to the hospital. Very, very simple. There are effective treatments available. I can't say this strongly enough. Yeah, it's called a pulse oximeter, Keith. That's exactly right. Julie's asking on thoughts on ivermectin for prophylaxis. It doesn't look that good to me, but I brought ivermectin with me to this COVID bubble I'm in, which I plan to take if I got COVID. So I'm convinced that ivermectin has some utility. The hydroxychloroquine is looking less convincing. Where you get an auction reader, I brought a couple of them with me. I got them offline, got them online. Amazon. Just go pulse oximeter. That's all you need. Who are you talking to? Josh Flagg is running by again. Who are you talking to? Fantastic. What can happen at Lucas if you contact trichinosis? The worms get into your muscle and inflame the muscles, but you have to. Oh, look, Sarah Cologne. You have to take a medication to get it out of there. So, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
So, how's your life in the COVID bubble?
It's nice.
Now, you and John are going to stay down here for a while.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah. We feel like, it's why not right now?
Well, here's the why not is so John is an NFL player. Can I talk about John without him being here?
Of course, yeah.
He's a well-known punter for the Seattle Seahawks, and he's being maybe traded around or whatever. We don't know what's going on exactly.
Right now he's free agent. Yes.
But he is on the record saying that should he not get picked up and should U.S. close down and he has to stay down here, he's just fine with that. No problem. He will just stay right here and he'll stay as long as he needs to.
Yeah, we were discussing just like finally getting to go somewhere, and we went, we'll
just stay.
We're here. It's the beach.
Yeah.
It's spread out.
It's spread out. There, and there's if you look at the data down here, there's nothing going on, with COVID. And it's interesting to me how much the locals are following protocols.
Yeah.
There's no like authoritarian, like you gotta do this. They're just kind of doing it, and that's that.
Yeah. Imagine just going with the flow.
Going with the flow, and guess what? Everything's fine, and gringos like us show up, and we behave ourselves, and everything turns out fine.
Relatively behave ourselves.
Well, you behave yourself outside of you. While you're here, you do not behave yourself at all. I understand within the confines of these walls. I wasn't implying that. Though Heather did hint that Chris Frangiola was looking to swing. She hinted at that.
She did. I think, Heather was just discussing earlier that she said she's offended that nobody has ever tried to swing with her in her whole life. And I said, I don't think there's as many swingers as you realize. And I said, but also the weekend's not over. You know what I mean? Like maybe.
Susan has some plans. I don't know. Maybe she's.
Do that.
Yeah. All right. So the song of the weekend has been the song I sang at the Masked Singer, unknown to any of these guys. That they started singing it at full voce, and I had to provide
didn't
them.
know we were singing that song, and we didn't know that Drew, because I hadn't really been. I've seen the show, but I don't watch it regularly, so I
Right.
didn't know.
But your mom knew.
My mom loves that show. I wrote her, and I go, "Oh, I didn't know Drew was on. Gee, he was the eagle, and he got robbed. He should have been on longer."
I did get robbed.
Yeah.
She is so right. Tell your mom she's right.
I will. I will.
Yeah.
I'll be very glad.
In fact, it was very funny. I was back. The producers. It's crazy how it's produced. I mean, it's the best show on television.
I really want to know so much.
You have
about
to sign NDA. Go ahead. Now's the time.
Okay, so you said it took many, like, going over the song was a big
So
deal,
the song selection was very difficult. Yeah, because they have to clear the songs. The song has to fit the character. You have to put the character on, and you got to get a feel for it. And I kept throwing in songs. I kept getting back like, they don't tell you no. They just go, how about this? And they'd send things
They go,
back.
or
you can do this, and send stuff back that I was like, I can't do. That's just no way. And then when I put the costume on, I'm like, God damn it, Rock Eagle, I've got to sing rock songs. I don't sing rock ballads. And they kind of conceded that this would be a good one. So fine, I'll do this. The next song was going to be Pour Some Sugar on Me, which interestingly, after I did my first performance, I went back in the trailer and I started having a panic attack. I'm like, no, I got to take a new direction. I got Frank Sinatra Bublé. That's where I'm going now. So I
that's where you feel comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as I started training, I knew there was something wrong with my voice because my mid-range had just sort of disappeared. I went to see an otolaryngologist. I had a bleed on my vocal cords. I had a varice in my vocal cords. I had to be treated with all this stuff.
Was it all from singing? Like
some of it was I'd been singing in I've been singing in a gay bar in New York 2 weeks before, and during that monster, shout out to the monster, during that something happened. I was like, oh, I've done something.
You were giving it your all.
Yes, I was like, preparing for Mass Singer. I was like, oh my God, so funny. So they make you sign an NDA. They make you not tell anybody. Only she and I knew, and my managers and stuff. Vocal coaches started showing up. They had to rehab my voice because of all these injuries. So rather than having a vocal coach a couple times a week, I started having one every day. And one of our sons was living with us then, and he goes, "What's going on?" I go, "Oh, I'm preparing to sing the national anthem for the Dodgers. I'm going to sing the national anthem."
You couldn't even tell him.
Couldn't tell anybody. You can't tell anybody. And finally, this coach is coming every day. He's like, "What the hell's going on? You've never done this before." I go, "All right, sign the paper." So he signed it. 3 of us are in. But they cover you up. Your skin can't show. You can't talk to anybody when you go. They shuttle you into a trailer. They shut the door behind you. Go, do not speak until your producer walks into this and shuts the door behind them.
It's so crazy.
No. I'm not going to spoil that for them. So
Now, what would have been, you've probably said this to your fans before, but what would have been your first choice?
song.
Yeah.
I was really getting going on like "Come Fly with Me" from Sinatra. I was good with that. That's where I was headed.
I'm gonna make him sing it to it.
Yeah,
Sing that to us tonight, guys.
That I might. If you give me they have the on. Well, no. They have the online karaoke stuff. If you give me that, I will do it.
Okay.
You can play it through you probably play it through the speakers.
I'll be doing that
Yeah,
after
yeah.
dinner this evening.
I need the words again too. Somebody's got to put those up for me. Ava, how do you break out of dorsal vagal shutdown? Ava, that is a very complicated question, and I'm glad you ask it. There's the dorsal vagal system, and there's the nucleus ambiguous. So let me talk about that later. That's a big topic, not for when Portia and Sarah is sitting here.
Someone said you should have done WAP.
What's that? What is that?
Do you want me to say the words on here or WAP? It's wet ass. Yeah.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, I should have done that.
It's a jam, and I would have loved to see. It's the only comment I've seen. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I saw WAP.
And I see dorsal vagal shutdown. So,
Great minds think differently.
so they close you in there, and you literally you come in the weekend before, and they say, here's the dance that's going to happen around you. Here's where you want you to do, and they sort of they sort of block you through it. And then you come back on like Tuesday. They do a dress rehearsal, and then you do it. That's it.
I mean, I can't believe, because when we watched the video, we made him show us the video,
Yeah.
and I don't know if there's probably anything more uncomfortable than like making your friends making you, we want to watch the video, and making you watch it with us.
It wasn't just you; it was John. Like,
We were all wanting to. So I was like, I can't believe they were just running around behind you, and you'd only rehearsed that once. Like I would have,
yeah, they were
over them, falling off the stage.
No, it was involved. I mean, it was very involved, and all my stuff was sort of it was all very mapped out what I was doing and them doing around me, and I couldn't see a lot of it. I could only see like right here, from like here to here. I could see right down
Is it
there.
hot under there? Is it
Not
hot
mine.
in there?
Mine was good. Mine was good. I was impressed.
Yes, at Sarah Colonna, Colonna.
Ava, you're asking again about dorsal vagal shutdown. That's a long conversation.
What is
my dear.
that?
It's essentially dissociation. That people, when they dissociate, there's two different vagal systems, and it mediates how we sort of get information out of our body, and feelings emanate from our body.
Yeah.
And so during development, if you get a lot of trauma, you get sort of the development of that region doesn't hook in with the higher centers. And so every time you have an intense feeling, you just get shut down. And so how do you rewire that so you can regulate as a more cohesive whole brain? That's things like EMDR and trauma-informed therapies and that kind of stuff, and they take a long time. So that's how, and being on Seroquel, you can still get treatment, and as the treatment gets better, you can wean down off the Seroquel. The Xanax and the Ambien is no bueno. That's going to be a little more difficult because that can amp up all that anxiety and stuff that goes with the dorsal vagal shutdown.
I'll say one thing about being on a trip with Dr. Drew as a comedian. I've never realized how unimportant my job is. As when you hear Drew on the phone in the morning, managing people's lives and health, and I'm like, oh, I don't get to tell dick jokes this weekend. Yeah. So.
But you did. To be fair, you did.
But I didn't get paid.
Still happen. Yeah. Well, you didn't get paid. You're right.
Yeah,
it's just entertaining us.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Oh no, it's so much fun. It's the best medicine, right?
Diane Duffy is thanking you for all the humor because it's healing, and I totally agree with that. The one thing about this trip that really felt emotionally relieving was it felt normal for a couple of days.
Yeah.
I felt like I was living my life with my friends the way I used to.
Yeah, and I think
that's
it's hard for people too because you go and obviously you realize not everyone has the access to travel a certain area or the resources or whatever it is, but there's got if there's just some kind of normal, right?
Exactly.
That you can find
Exactly.
in a laughter with a friend.
And it's what I've been saying in this stream for quite some time, is we've got to learn to navigate with this thing, to manage the risk, not to run scared and in ways that don't make sense. Navigate it, mitigate, treat when it comes along, develop the vaccine. It's an alchemy. I want to go back to the Masked Singer. So I'm backstage getting ready, and I hear Patti Smith or something. Who was that? Was it Patti Smith?
Smith, yeah.
Look who I found.
Oh, John.
John Ryan.
This is my husband.
Thank you, man. Come on in here. Let's slide over even more.
Okay.
See if Susan can get everybody in here.
We'll bring in,
So we wanted to thank you for bringing up the Masked Singer and playing my video. So, did you have fun this weekend?
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I had so much fun. It's
Yeah.
been awesome to meet you guys.
And I was speaking on your behalf when I said, yeah, yeah. And I was speaking on your behalf when I said, they may lock down while these two stay another couple of weeks. And John's like, fine. Here.
Lock them down. We're staying here. We're moving here.
Fine. Oh, you can find me.
It's just in a certain position when you're not working right now. It's just yeah, I guess we can just stay here.
There are some sports fan in my group here. I can see them starting to go off a little bit. They want you to restart a podcast. You have a podcast?
I did.
They want you to restart it. So they liked it.
Someone said Jim Gaffin's been working out. So here's the story, Dr. Drew. I played on his show, the
On
Jim
Gaffigan.
Gaffigan show.
Yeah, you played him.
I played myself, but I was auditioning for Jim Gaffigan on his show. It was my only acting experience. I wasn't great. But
Oh, it was hilarious. No, because they get that so often, and Jim and I know each other.
I had not made this until just now. I absolutely get it.
Everyone thinks all the gingers look alike.
Yeah, that's working out. That's so funny.
But they asked. So Jim finally was I have a part on my show where I have to be auditioning to play myself, and then I go in a room full of people who. So John was on it, and it was very funny. You want to deliver your line? I'll be Jim Gaffigan.
there you go.
Yeah,
You're Jim Gaffigan.
I'm going to be Jim Gaffigan. He sees John auditioning to play him, and he looks over at John. And he goes, "Aren't you the Seahawks punter?"
I'm also an actor.
Guys, killed it.
He did. He did.
The second one that I added in myself, and they kept it. I go, so I turned to that next one. I go, do you have any sunscreen? And they used it.
Oh my God, he came up with his own. He was riffing.
That's good. Good. Maybe some stand up for him one day. Now
He's
Oh my God, the whole gang is coming in here. This is,
he's in the middle of.
you're gonna, all right,
Oh, Ryan,
live on the stream,
streaming.
it's gonna be you're gonna see this is the entire group.
Someone said you're drinking straight vodka like a vodka. It is a margarita, to be fair, but it's a very light colored margarita, which means it's strong.
Yes, DJ, they do cause damage to the lungs, that's true. They can fully recover, but that's one of the concerns about. All right,
Oh, the ventilator?
yeah, they're asking about the damage.
See, I'm learning a lot by sitting here.
What are we gonna do?
Am I in?
Yes.
Cabo.
So, no, Zach, we're not super spreading. We're all COVID free. We're all in a bubble.
We all got tested.
We all got tested.
Hanging together.
We've been stuck in this bubble.
I
the
have
whole
been licking
time.
doorknobs since we got here.
He's trying to get it, to be fair, then it will be kind of an interesting super spreader thing. But everyone's, yeah. This is the only time we've actually all been indoors together. We normally go out outside. So
Yeah. Well, I do think it's like, but it is like, yeah, well, once you get tested, you go hang out together. I mean, that means it's okay.
So
right?
Dilo Cougar wants to see his girlfriend's 100-year-old grandfather this weekend. I would get tested. You can at least get a rapid antigen test and then go. If you're negative, you're not likely to start producing virus in the hours after a negative test. So Robin likes the group. After the pick, please do the
WAP dance. Someone said he should have done WAP on Masked Singer, and it was like my favorite comment.
This is essentially the Chelsea Lately panel. You're right. That's what it says. We should do a round table. Oh my God! In the library here.
That is hilarious.
Why is there a discount thing on it?
Okay.
When people do want to see, like, not to make you answer all these questions,
Yeah,
but, we've been doing the boardroom, like, last night, I think Chris Frangiola was just, like, making him recount his whole life.
Drilling me.
Yeah, he'll do it.
He was actually holding back. I mean, he had another 100 questions.
No, and I was actually disappointed. I answered 95 questions, and I said we'll do the rest at breakfast tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, it was funny because he goes, I kept seeing Chris because I know how much he loves you. And so I knew he was holding himself back, and he would start to ask a question and then he'd go, okay, just one more. Just one more.
But then we agreed to be at breakfast this morning, and he had nothing. I was shocked.
I think he was hungover.
It was hungover.
He did mention that. So-
He had a couple too
Oh,
many.
take off your shirt, Dr. Drew.
No. A professional football player. Are you kidding me? Give me a break.
Drew's been working out on his vacation though, staying healthy.
It really has been, because this thing has a gym that's beautiful and so cool. You guys finally worked out this morning.
Yeah,
Did you work out?
yeah, finally.
Yeah.
Finally.
By finally, I mean, because you need to take advantage of this thing.
No, you do.
Oh,
You
it's
do.
so good.
Yeah.
I didn't mean finally like you're not working out.
No, I know.
Finally, like, I got you down.
And
but
it's
you
like
take
you
advantage
need a
of this.
good sweat after,
And somebody's
nice
saying this is
margarita.
how the swinging starts. So here you go. So-
I was telling him that Heather was upset that she's never been,
Proposition.
yeah, so.
One thing Drew won't do.
No.
Susan keeps saying that as though that's something she really wants to do, and I just won't do it. So Susan, you have to explain that to her.
In Loveline days, in Loveline days, you used to say once you swing, it ruins the relationship.
Anybody?
Of course.
We all know people that have swung, right? How many of those ended in divorce? What percentage?
I would think it would be all of them because I always feel like what happens is
Yeah, whatever it is, they defend it for a few years. It's the greatest thing, and then divorce.
I feel like someone ends up sitting on the end of the bed left out, like, oh,
Whatever,
I thought we were swinging, but now you guys are just going at it. Oh, yeah.
whatever it is, my experience has been 100%. Now there are still some that I know that are kind of trundling along, and I'm waiting for the call. You know what I mean? It's not like I have never seen it work for a few years, but it always ends.
I'm too jealous. I would never.
Oh,
yeah.
God. I feel like it's a last-ditch effort. Maybe I'm wrong,
So see, Susan,
but
you do it. You have
You don't
to
need it. You guys have
last
nice-
ditch effort. She's showing her cards here. It's kind of scary, concerning, very concerning.
This sign, I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that.
It was
Oh, I see.
live from the Masked Singer.
Right
you do a
through the eagle mask. I was calling for you. Oh
He
my
was
God, you're
letting
too
you
funny.
know.
So, yes, so this is an interesting show today. So I started out very serious and I was doing,
Now you have us.
and now we're going a little different direction, and that's good. I don't know who Professor Mike Yaden is. You guys are gonna have to tell me, McDonald's Farmer, who he is and what the deal is. I'll look at his stuff for you if you want, if you can, sort of give us a link or something here. So you guys are losing, we've derailed the chat here.
I'm sorry.
So I'm gonna go back to The Masked Singer because
Okay.
you had lots of questions about that, so.
Well, yeah, well, so your first choice would have been Sinatra.
Probably.
Yeah.
Just
What-
easy ballads. Actually, my first choice was the Queen song.
Oh, you were
Opera.
gonna, so that is, oh.
Great song for me. It's right in my range and stuff.
But that's kind of a rock anthem.
It
so-
is, and it fit everything. And I kept saying, "Let me do this, let me do this," and they kept like deferring me, like, "Oh, we'll see," and then it was like, "No," and I never found out.
Was it
why.
because they didn't get the rights, or is it because
I
they
don't
didn't
know.
trust you?
They wouldn't tell me. Yeah, they wouldn't tell me. What
Well,
it
maybe
was.
that was someone else that
Yeah,
already
right. And so
claimed it.
there is a little, yeah. And then I had, who did I sing against, Susan? Patti Smith, was it? No, that was later. And so I'm getting to, they had these SmackDowns back, they had second rounds back in those days. They don't do that anymore. And they're all like, "Don't worry, you're going right through. And I go, I don't have a good second song. We did not really prepare for this properly. This Nancy Sinatra song is not a winner. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
you had to sing these boots.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right,
and,
right.
and lo and behold, what's her name?
Shepherd.
Sherry Shepherd killed it. She did this crazy funny thing.
Oh, really?
And it just knocked me out. That was that.
Yeah, I can't sing.
What would
so
your
I
song be?
My song? Oh God! I have a habit
The WAP song.
of the WAP. obviously. But no, I have a history of like I'm a terrible singer, but then so when I do sing, I sing for too long. So I'd pick something like "Turn the Page" at karaoke, and it's like an 8-minute song, and then people are like,
they won't let you do that. Everything is edited down to.
"No, I
like
wouldn't let them
that
edit it." I'd be like, I have to have my full 8 minutes.
Oh my, it's so the producing in that. So think about it. They have fireworks, they have staging, lighting. Think how many cameras are
Dancing.
going. Dancers,
Backup dancers.
music directors, there's so many layers to it, and keeping everything
I know.
confidential.
I actually was like, The Masked Singer was ahead of its time. It like knew the pandemic.
All right,
was
Chris,
coming.
don't go away.
Oh, Chris, come. Yeah, you can come. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good
Well,
to see
yes.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Of
Thank
course.
you. Oh my God,
It's
we
been
love you
great to
guys
see
so
you. We
much.
love you too.
Yeah.
We want to do more stuff.
We'll
with
see you
guys.
down there.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you guys have a lot of conversations to have too.
Oh, me and Chris?
With God.
No, I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you very much. Thank you. All right.
Can you do something with Peter's speech?
I did. I'm working on it.
Josh is out the door. It's about out the door.
Wait, what's John? Come here. The great Chris Frangiola here, buddy.
Let's go.
How are you, man? You having fun down here?
Good. Oh, okay.
We don't have to squeeze scale like Sarah and I did.
You can hear me just like that? With that?
Yeah, that's it. It's a really good pick. Picks all this stuff up. So, tell me what's going on. Where do people need to find you?
Find me on all the social medias,
Yeah.
all the Chris Frangiola.
I think there's a juicy scoop up with you in it right
Juicy
now.
Scoop is coming up. I think Tuesday we'll be talking about this
Experience.
experience. And my podcast is called Cover to Cover, which is a lot of fun.
Great.
So, yeah, that's it.
Excellent. And see, we're sort of watching a chat here while we do our thing. So if they have questions and
okay.
stuff for you.
Yeah.
Is the PCR test reliable? Yeah, it's skank steady, as you call yourself. PCR test may be too reliable, actually, because it's 40 times amplification PCR, and so it's checking, it's getting people that may just have viral particles there and not even are infected. So that's one of the concerns about that. They like your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Anything we
Yeah,
should talk
that's
about?
my vacation, my vacation shirt. Yeah.
Uh,
What is the PCR test? What is
That's the polymerase chain reaction. It's a way of taking little tiny pieces of DNA or RNA and amplifying it multiple times. So if there's a tiny piece around, you'll find it in these tests that detect it.
Oh, okay.
So it's a 40 times amplification. That's the best way I can. Oh God, you guys are. Some of our callers, our stream today is evil. No, this is all wives. Ding dong. That seems to be the name. Dingo, rather. So, do you get enough chance to drill me today? You want to do some online streaming?
Well, I mean, it's.
It was a little disappointing this morning. I have to tell
I
you.
know. Well,
After dinner, I thought there was a lot coming.
excited last night, and I was a little hungover, must admit, this morning. So
Slowed you down a
Yeah,
bit.
I was
You
moving
feeling
a
better
little-
now? Are you good?
I'm getting there.
Okay,
So
good.
I'm starting to come back. But
So any questions coming to mind?
I mean, I guess my main question, which you kind of answered, was about Sober House and
Celebrity Rehab.
and Celebrity Rehab. Was how much are you upset about producers amping up?
Yeah, I talked
Drama,
about that.
yeah.
One of the other things I didn't talk about is that people have lots of opinions about it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, but no one ever asks the patients. Why don't you ask
Right.
that?
Yeah.
Because I know they all had good experiences and they are still involved in the lives of many of them. And so ask them.
I would,
Ask them if
I
they feel
used
like there's
to,
a
I used to
problem.
kind
I
of
think we need
live
to lean
near.
forward to-
I used to kind of live near Stephen Adler, but I never spoke to him. But I saw him in the
He is
neighborhood
one of the
in Studio
loveliest
City
guys
quite a
you
bit.
ever want to meet.
That's what I've heard.
Susan texts with him all the time, mostly, but he has an emoji habit that's very similar to Tan Mom,
Oh yeah.
who's also a friend of Susan.
Wait, Susan, you know Tan Mom? Wow.
Tan Mom will go, hi, I love you, and then bell tower, sunshine, rainbow, with dancing shoes, dancing lady.
That makes sense.
And I literally
Yeah.
called her once, and I go, Patricia.
Patricia Marie.
Patricia
Yeah.
Krenzel.
Okay, yeah.
I go, Patricia, what is with explain the emoji to me. Oh, it's just fun. What's this? Oh, is that from Steven?
Oh, this is. Oh wow, she is emoji crazy.
No, that's Steven Adler. That's
Oh, that's Steven Adler.
Yeah, that's Steven Adler. What is he sending you?
Oh, that does look like a penis. What? Yeah,
Emojis.
that makes sense. Ah,
Josh asked, who's getting voted off the island? Mr. Flagg is.
Josh Flagg?
Josh Flagg is.
By the way, Josh is giving me anxiety about. I'm like an early airport guy. I would be there at the gate already.
Josh
I can't do
Josh
that.
glides through life.
It seems like that. Yeah.
I like how Josh does things. Josh was our guest 2 days ago. Sorry we missed yesterday, by the way. But and we'll be back on Monday for a normal week. We have to travel tomorrow. Oh, here comes Josh Flagg into the action here.
Now, how many podcasts are you doing right now?
So I do with Christina P.
Yes.
I do.
My dear,
After
one of my
Dark.
old
Yep.
comedy
And
friends.
shout out to Christina and Tom. I do one with Adam 3 days a week, sometimes
Yes.
5 days a week. I do one by myself over at Corolla, and then this divides into two different things. We do the dose, which is this, which we react to the chat stream, and I do a call in usually on what day are we doing the call in? The Ask Dr. Drew, Susan Pinsky. Susan Pinsky.
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm on a delay. So.
Okay, so what day are we doing the Ask Dr. Drew show now?
That's on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
We're not moving it to Tuesday or anything. It's Wednesday. Okay, good. And Suzanne, we did have a great time. We actually kind of all knew each other, kind of. I didn't know Josh. He's a good new friend.
Now we're gay lovers.
That's where that's where the swinging did come in. I didn't want to tell everybody, but now that Josh has let it out.
Drew and I have worked together on Chelsea, a show we did called After Lately. You were
Yes,
on
that's what it
with
was.
us.
It was after lately, and
Yeah.
in that show,
Good to see you,
as,
Josh.
Yeah.
bye Josh. We'll see you back home,
Are you
okay?
leaving us?
Leaving you. It's that time.
Okay, bye Josh. So
It was funny back then, Drew.
Yep.
When we were taping that show,
Yeah.
After Lately. It was when Charlie Sheen was at the height of his craziness,
His mania.
Tiger Blood, and
Yep.
mania,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
And you had predict whatever at that
I
time.
was concerned,
You
for
were very
sure.
concerned, and you said, I think he'll be dead in a
I was
month or
worried that he could
something."
die in a month. Yeah. He was really spiraling, but his dad, I guess, did an intervention, and that saved his life, and he's doing great as far as I know.
Yeah. Have you? Is that somebody you speak to?
No,
or,
no.
'cause
But if I
that
did,
was
I couldn't
pretty-
tell you. But no, I do not.
That was a pretty. That
was a pretty dramatic.
public breakdown.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I'm actually I look. Everyone that knows him loves him.
I've heard. Yeah,
everyone loves
I've
him.
never met him.
And I'm actually grateful that happened because it showed people, what this stuff is, how
Yeah.
it works, and how dangerous it gets. And my fear was they were making such a spectacle out of it. Remember, he had a show and
Yeah,
everything.
they were doing
right?
a live. He was on
That,
tour.
that was my fear, is that they were gratifying it so much that this thing was really going to go overboard. And with the HIV and everything, and I figured they're not treating the HIV, and oh my God, this is going to be terrible. And he's doing good, so good for him.
Yeah.
But there was something else you were asking about. Oh, so in the what was it called? After Chelsea?
After lately. it
After
was-
lately.
Yeah.
So Chris and I were in a skit where, was the custom on that show, he would try to sleep with me.
That always seemed to be the thing that we
That was
did
the
on that
conceit
show.
of every
Yeah.
show with Chris Frangiola or
Right.
Sarah, to be fair.
Yeah, Sarah,
But
and I think Heather too was
Heather
a
too
lot of times.
sometimes.
She was
Except whenever I'd come on with Heather, the conceit was she had a Xanax problem.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
was on
right,
Ambien
right.
Xanax.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I don't really use too much. It doesn't mean anything. When you wake up in the middle of the night, take
Yeah.
3 more. Is that a problem?
They were. That was a good time over there at Chelsea lately. We were, those were fun days. It was a good time. Oh, Lonnie and a lot of good people came out of that show.
Yes, right. It was almost like it reminds me a little bit of like how I don't know if you know this, but the morning show on K-Rock here in Los Angeles
Yes.
spun out a bunch of great talent.
Right.
And this is kind of what Chelsea was. It was like
Yeah,
a laboratory.
yeah.
It spun out a bunch of
A
talent.
lot of people who, T.J. Miller and a lot of guys who you wouldn't know came out of that show. Which was
And
kinda
even
nice.
people who were writers that you may not have seen even on the round tables ended up having lots of
Right.
different things. That
Now, how did you get involved with that? I feel like you're involved with a lot of comedians, like Adam and
it's weird. It's very weird. Yes, I would love to have Joey Diaz on. Thank you for that.
oh, Joey's the one
Joey
of the
Diaz.
best. Yeah.
But I think it's because of Corolla that I became kind of a straight. Bye, Josh.
See you, John.
See you home. Be safe. So I think I became sort of a straight guy.
Yeah.
So people started using me for straight things they needed.
Right,
in
right.
talk shows.
Which,
and
to your
whatever.
credit, that's very difficult to be the straight man.
I don't find it so.
Oh, yeah?
Very easy, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And so, but I know what the job is. And as a result, there's just more and more and more comedians in my life. And we would have lots of them on Loveline back in the day. So I
Yeah,
got to
that's
know lots
right.
of them.
Back in-
and they had lots of psychopathology, and they had lots of questions and things. They'd want me to do stuff and help them with things. And then when Tom and Christina came along, Christina's fascinated with the psyche of comedians generally.
Yeah.
So she wanted me to do a show on that, and that's where After Dark started.
Right,
And then
right.
sort of morphed into what we're doing now.
Which is great. I
Yeah.
listen and I like it.
And some of I think what because I am a serious person, but I am willing to go funny places with people. I think knocking me down to size becomes sort of a sport.
Right,
You know
right,
what I
right.
mean?
And
so
now
I'm willing to do that.
They're doing
so.
live things, Christine and Tom, where I guess they show you horrific videos or something,
Yes.
and get your reaction. to it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's hilarious to them.
right. I think that they have another one coming up. Are you going to be on?
I don't
that?
think I'm on that one, but
Okay.
but all I see in those videos are people that are either are dead. I'm watching them die.
Oh, yeah.
They're horrible. They're horrible videos, and I just go, oh, dead person. Thank you, Tom. And Tom thinks that's the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, they just love it. I watch some of the reactions of some of the people, what they're showing them, and I just couldn't imagine. I don't think I could watch anything like that, fisting or whatever they're.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible stuff. So, and so, some people on the line here like your interviewing style, so that's good. You're a good interviewer.
Thank you.
But because of Loveline was around, I mean, I've treated lots of the same famous people, and I meet somebody new every night on Loveline. It just, everyone's everyone. People
Yeah,
are just people.
right.
You know what I mean? It's just all the same to me. And so, anyway, so Chelsea, a way that happened, I think, was Peter Johansson. Peter Johansson used to produce a talk show I did way back called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus.
Okay. Yeah.
And he, I think, got to me or something, like show 2
Yeah.
to be on the round table.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You were. That's
Yeah.
before I was writing on the show since the beginning, and we didn't have comedians on it.
Right. We had lots
like,
of different things going on.
Yeah, like
And-
you and I think we used to have Ron Jeremy on a lot, and yeah. Looking back
Thank
on
you,
it
Brady.
now, it's just I guess it's different time. It's hard to watch sometimes. I see some clips from it, and I was like, wow, it was a very harsh, caustic, like
Were you talking about Chelsea's commentary or the whole panel?
the whole panel,
Yeah.
like everything about it was, and the funny thing was, some people just couldn't handle. Like some comedians were not good at that. They were not good at like
Improv.
or
Well, some
no,
of
just
them
like
are stand-up.
yeah, they were like, I don't want to shit on people like
No.
this. Like I don't want to call Mariah Carey fat. Yeah, right.
The bad old days.
And then towards the end, Chelsea, we'd have a lot of guest hosts, and we had some big Dave Grohl and some big people guest hosts, and even they were like, no, I'm not going to say that. Like, I got to go out and live a life after this is over. I'm not going to say this. Yeah. It was mean. It was mean.
I did a bunch of it. A lot of what I was doing was, the conceit was that Lonnie and I were going to have an affair.
That's right. I do
that
remember
was,
that.
so
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
It shifted over to Lonnie.
Yeah. Lonnie loved you. Actually.
I love Lonnie too. I still love
Lonnie's
Lonnie.
great. Yeah,
Yes.
I love Lonnie as well. She's
And
great.
so that was funny and fun and stuff. And I think it was just right around the time I started doing another daytime talk show, and she was kind of a regular on that.
Okay.
And so that was sort of
Yeah.
going on at the same time.
I see people asking about like cancel culture and stuff like that. How do you feel doing podcasts like this?
Yeah.
You almost get, you have a lot of guests on and stuff. Do you ever feel like you hear somebody say something in one of your podcasts, you're like, oh, that's probably not
Concerning.
yeah, that's 'cause I feel with podcasts you're almost lulled into
You
kind of a
forget people are listening.
That you forget people listening. Right. Right.
I had to adjust some of what Josh was saying the day before yesterday.
Oh, I
Josh
could
Black.
totally
So-
hear that. I can see that.
So
Yes, yeah.
he was saying some stuff where I was like, I don't think you want to say it like that.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
but the more interesting thing is, thank you, Brady, is that I get tons of hate.
Really?
Tons and tons of hate. Yeah.
Tons of hate for what reason?
Shitstorms more than anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't. She screamed.
Now,
at
now the
everybody.
hateful saying what? Like,
We get, it used to be teen mom. You're not tough enough on those teen moms. You're a horrible person. You're a horrible doctor. You shouldn't even be on the show. Someone should fire you, Dr.
And to be fair, these are 28-year-old.
But then,
Yeah, right.
the whole COVID-19 thing was like,
well, that was when
Steroids.
COVID first came out. Drew said something along the lines of it's being a little
you didn't
overblown.
want to
Yeah,
put it
yes,
in.
yeah.
And then they said, well, you said it.
You're trying to kill people. It became,
Yeah.
you're a murderer.
Right.
Yeah, you're murdering people.
And where do you stand on that? Do you read it? Do you look at it? Do you
No, I
let it
didn't look at
affect you?
emails. I had probably 1,000 emails that I just let go by, and I still have them because I'm saving them so I can show people how wonderful humanity is.
Right. Oh, it's unbelievable.
But then we just knocked off the trolls, and then we got our team. You know, we have great followers, so
Uh-huh.
they go out and they help us. They
Yeah.
respond to the trolls. Okay, hey, you're a troll, bug off, and then we can have a nice conversation, and we don't have to worry about getting canceled. you know?
Yeah.
And then I've been over at this thing called Locals, which is, what is it, Locals.com?
Yes.
It's sort of a private area. I'm trying to develop just maybe more, I don't know, contained environment so we don't have to get the craziness going.
It's funny. I see somebody asking about Britney Spears on
Now,
here.
why are they, are you talking about that?
Yes, I talk about it a lot on my podcast and we talked a little bit about it yesterday.
I'm
here.
happy to talk about that again.
Yeah.
Because I saw an article this morning in the New York Times judging conservatorships, and I was like, you are killing people.
Okay,
And
that's what I want to, because I've been saying that I believe the father is a good guy. I don't think he's this evil person who's ruining her career.
He is the fact that she's alive is because of him.
Thank you. That's what I
the
said.
fact that she was able to to get on a conservatorship, you have to have severe, serious mental illness. Severe.
Yeah.
You don't, and then to stay on a conservatorship, that's extraordinary. So she was on a hold, then she was on an extended hold. To get on a hold like that, a judge comes to the hospital.
Right.
And the psychiatrist has to make the case that this person is so sick that they can't be alone outside of a hospital wall.
So I guess I
So-
really don't know. A conservatorship is what?
And then if after that 14 days, then they start talking about a conservatorship, which is someone's going to have responsibility for your body, for your health care, for your finances.
Right.
There's different kinds. But this was an overall conservatorship because she would die
Yeah.
if she left to her own, or she would certainly end up on the street.
She would
and
die.
likely die.
Like because of her mental or because of a drug thing, you think? I mean,
It was clearly mental illness.
It's mental illness,
Clearly serious mental illness, and whether or not drugs were involved, we don't know.
Yeah.
Hang on one second. Ava and Realistic Reality. Yes, any Bessel van der Kolk book, not Kolkata, Kolk, K-O-L-K, books would be great. Also, the Polyvagal Theory by Stephen Porges, if you really want to understand this stuff. So in any event, conservatorships save lives, especially when it's a family member that's a conservator.
Right.
And so the fact that she was functioning, that she was performing in Las Vegas, that she was stayed healthy, that her bipolar disorder didn't decompensate, that the drug addiction didn't spiral, that's remarkable.
Yeah.
For somebody that was on a 14-day hold, put on a conservatorship, and not recurrently back in a psychiatric hospital.
Right.
Because normally they're just in and out, or then on the streets. That's where they end
So
up.
you don't see a time where Britney Spears is back to, a seemingly functional hit records, making videos.
It's possible. It's not I don't know her case, right? I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on there. It seems like the father was just worried about when she becomes manic that the financial thing is in jeopardy, that bad people will get in there and
Right.
take advantage of her, which he's right. That's what bipolar disorder is about.
Yeah.
And if she has a history of excessive impulsive spending, that will come back.
Yeah.
That comes back, and people with bipolar disorder often don't like taking their medicines, and so they'll have these episodes. And to leave her to, what I said was, if she wants to, she's been doing so well for so long, she wants to give it a try, somebody should let her do it.
Let her tour.
Except for the financial piece, with the dad is saying
Yeah.
no. And I'm saying, let her do it. Let her try, and if it goes badly, have a backup plan.
Yeah, right.
So I agree that if she wants her quote freedom and she wants to give a try at it, I understand that might be a reasonable thing.
Because if you look underneath her Instagram or whatever, because a lot of times you see her Instagram and it seems like she's spiraling a little in some of her Instagram videos, and you'll see people in the comments underneath her, all 95% the father is controlling her and he's a bad guy.
Yeah, no,
But
absolutely
that's
not.
good to hear that
Absolutely
you
not.
say,
And, and by the way, I get, in terms of shitstorms,
Oh,
I will get vilified for saying
vilified.
this.
I'm sure you
So,
will. Yes,
whatever.
I've gotten vilified for it as well,
Right.
saying that I believe he's there for the.
She
for
has
good.
serious mental illness. Again, think about it. So severe that she met criteria for being in a hold against her will, that's only for the most seriously ill. Then the next layer, a judge has to come into the hospital and certify her as too sick to leave the hospital. This is the most ill. 14 days. Then conservatorship for people that are not likely to ever recover because of the chronic nature of the condition. Conservatorships can then manage it, and then you try off it after a while. That's okay.
Can I ask you another?
Yeah.
Was there ever a time, like in the case of like a Michael Jackson or even a
Yeah.
Prince,
Yeah.
where you would? I mean, after Prince died, you heard that Prince was on pills for
Yeah.
many years
Yeah.
and whatever. Was there a time where you would watch somebody like a Prince in an interview or something and be able to determine that they're on some sort of pills?
It wouldn't be so much that I would see the intoxication. I would hear stuff
Right,
about
right.
pain and about doctors, and then I
Uh-huh.
go, oh, here we go. And I know people. Whenever it was pain and doctors, their life is in danger.
and that's what happened with Prince, more or less. And the
Prince,
same with-
now Prince was interesting because he was taking fentanyl, which you can overdose on fentanyl, but it's kind of hard to do that unless you're shooting it or doing it sublingually and stuff.
yeah.
But the Xanax with the fentanyl is why he died.
Oh, okay.
So-
And that's just Prince going into the doctor and saying, "I'm in pain," and the doctor says,
Yeah.
take this."
Yeah, and then getting special care. I mean, how about
Right.
the fact that think about this? He was 30 minutes away from Hazleton, the leading drug treatment center in the world.
Really?
He
In
lived
Minneapolis?
30 minutes
Yeah.
from freaking Hazleton. And instead of going to Hazleton, he had some guy come from San Francisco with his son muling Suboxone into the state.
Wow.
Guy does not have a license to
Yeah.
practice in that state. His son is not a clinician.
Yeah.
And he was bringing a treatment that is, we could argue all day, but that was the kind of treatment he should get. He should have
Right.
gone. He had Xanax with Suboxone. With the Xanax, he needs to be in a hospital.
And then somebody saying Tom Petty too. Was that a similar situation?
My
He
feet
was
hurt.
on-
My feet hurt. I need a doctor.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
Right.
be careful.
My neck,
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So
that's below.
Right. Of course. I've never taken any type of pill or anything. So much. I just don't like
stick with the alcohol. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, and I honestly really not even much of a drinker. Like on vacation, I'll have a few,
Yeah.
but even
I get it.
for the most part, I don't really even drink.
Yeah, we got to go. We got to break up. And
Love you all. I'm
Yeah.
so happy to get this weekend with you guys. I'm a
it really
big
is a
fan
pleasure. Thank you.
of
And great
you
to know
for
your wife
many
Liz
years.
too.
Yes,
She
yes.
seems great.
Thank you. Yes.
Heather needs all the credit and Peter for
Yeah,
being
I know.
organizers and creating life. you
Yeah.
know? It's like now I want to invite a bunch of friends and go somewhere.
isn't it great?
Cut and make sure we're all covered.
I mean, the point is, you can manage your life during COVID. You can manage the risk. You can do stuff that make it safe, and you don't have to hide in your home.
Yeah, I'm going
That's
to
the most
quarantine for a
unhealthy
couple
thing in the
weeks over
world.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Don't you think
I
there's
mean, we're
some?
going to have a small dinner with our family for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to take a risk.
Right. I mean, I think this is going to have long mental, like the lack
Having
of,
been here will improve us mentally for a while.
the lack of social
Yeah. Yes,
behavior
I
for the
agree.
last 8 and 9 months, whatever.
I agree.
It's definitely going to screw people up for a while.
Oh, how about adolescents?
And that's
Oh
what I'm
my
saying.
God, who knows?
Just kids having to wear masks, I find, is going to be something they're
Also
going
having
to
a
do.
home to go to where you're contained, hotels are a little scary
Right,
sometimes,
yeah.
but, where you can have your own space and you can feel safe.
I asked the question this morning, what if one of us gets sick or all of us get sick? Would it have been worth the risk? And
Yeah.
everybody just said, I said, what will you be thinking if you're really sick? You'll be thinking, that's the way it goes. It's worth
Yeah,
it.
right.
So that's kind of an interesting
It
thing.
would suck, but
It would suck, but we're prepared. We're prepared.
you're talking to a woman who had 3 babies ripped out of her uterus. It couldn't be worse than that.
At the same time.
If I
Kind
could
of.
At the same time. No, not kind of. At the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't be as bad as that.
It did a lot for my anxiety being here, a lot. And I have an anxiety disorder. Those of you that you see you guys talking about anxiety, doing something of a normal social nature, if you can manage it safely,
I
remarkable.
felt a little guilty.
I feel very guilty that,
But that's the thing. You feel like you have to apologize and,
No,
and tell everything.
but I apologize that
But
everybody
I'm gonna
doesn't,
get some mean emails.
Yeah.
but I want to apologize that everybody doesn't have this. You know what I mean? This is, we
Right.
got this opportunity,
No.
Heather set it up. It's a wonder, it's glorious.
Right.
But everyone needs to do stuff like this on a small scale.
Well, you
Right.
don't have to go to, we definitely want to promote this place for anybody who has the means to get a big group together
Oh,
and
if
do
they
it.
can. This is it.
But there are other ways that you can travel and live your life without feeling so nervous about it. that
And
you
again,
won't
don't go into hot spots and don't, and cooperate with the quarantines if they have
Right.
them and stuff.
I mean, Vegas, we went to Vegas
Yeah.
Months
for a
ago.
weekend and it was fine.
You went during
Yeah,
your
during
Yeah,
July.
Wow.
We didn't tell anybody. But,
Yeah.
because we were being
And you stayed in a hotel?
rebels without a
We did,
cause.
and we wore masks, and we were a little disturbed. There were a lot of mask wearing with the mask below the nose. That was a little bit like, come on,
Yeah,
guys.
but we didn't get it. We were fine,
Right.
and we really needed a break.
Yeah, PL says the media's still peddling in panic. They are. Be careful. They really is so. I saw the word staggering and grim again immediately on my Yahoo, sort of page, my news page, and it's like we are in an outbreak, everybody. We are in one. It's not staggering. It's
Right.
intense. It's a lot. We got to get under control, everyone. My friend, who's the governor of North Dakota, took some actions today that he really, I'm sure he regretted. He was trying to get everyone just to do it on their own.
Right.
And now we had to do some state mandates and stuff.
Oh,
But
in North Dakota, yeah.
Yeah, and it really had an outbreak. So it's closing down bars at 8, and it's,
Right.
it's wearing mask mandates, that kind of stuff. But that's not, he's not telling people to stop their life. He would never say shelter in place, which is the most insane thing I've ever heard out of
Yeah.
a so-called leader's mouth.
Well, New York is kind of a mess. They're scaring everybody.
Shelter in place was just stay in your house, is what they were trying to say,
Yeah.
right?
Not just that you stay in
Right.
the room. No, right now, stay where you are.
Remember we had to wash
That's
everything?
nuclear Holocaust time.
Yeah. I remember, yeah.
Remember we had to wash our grocery bags?
Yeah, what, you were spraying down your grocery bags and
I
yeah.
have Clorox wipes. We have a I1.
Now, to be
Yeah.
fair, the IWAN would have been very good back then.
Yeah,
Do we have a link for that, for the IWAN?
not yet, but
okay.
we will.
Okay. But we didn't, to be fair to everybody, we didn't really know what was going on at the time, and it was sort of like pulled in place until we really figured it out. The problem is they kept it that way.
Yeah.
They've not adjusted their
Right.
recommendations since then.
But it's more the psychological thing for certain people. Like our son is super careful, and
Sure.
he went to New York. He had to quarantine for 3 days and get a COVID test because he told them he was going into the city. And he's been in quarantine for 9 months in our pool house. Like he hasn't left the house. He hasn't done anything. So very small chance that he has COVID. But he got the COVID test. He stayed quarantined. And then they sent a text out. Cuomo sent a text out to everybody and said, "We're going to shut it down again." He goes, "I need to come home sooner." He goes, "I might get stuck here." He's fearing it.
Unlike if we get stuck here, we fine with it?
I'm hoping to get stuff here. Yeah.
So John, we're actively hoping.
Yeah, John,
It's not going
really.
to happen, but I'm not going to tell him you're not going to get stuck there. You need
Yeah.
to stay, or like he's afraid. He's afraid of his shadow.
All right.
Yeah.
We have dinner. We have some food,
And
guys.
he's
We gotta
an
join the group.
educated,
Okay.
smart. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
not
no, I have a lot of friends who are like that.
Yeah.
But he also follows the rules very carefully.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of I have a son like that.
That is.
Yeah, no, he's been very, but he's been more, he's,
I think he must, our,
but he's navigating. He's not being wild about it. He's just navigating. He traveled. He went to New York. He
but
took his
they weren't
test.
like,
That's
oh,
what
you're
I'm talking
going to
about.
Mexico, how could you do that? They didn't shame us.
Who?
Yeah.
Our
Who didn't?
kids.
How
Yeah.
often should we get tested? How often do you think? I mean,
When I get home, I'm gonna get tested.
Yeah.
And then that way I can have Thanksgiving and not feel like.
The key is you don't want it to spread it to other people.
yeah,
Right?
right.
How horrible would you feel if you did that? So, so to the extent that you're going to be around other people, if you've done any kind of risk sort of behaviors, that's the time to get tested.
I'm sure you
Now,
probably discussed this on the podcast, but what are your feelings on a shot? Do you?
Oh, I can't wait to get it. I
Yeah.
cannot wait.
Well, we're old, we have to.
Right. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Okay, so you.
I don't care. I'd rather, just be safe.
Oh, there's a million-man march in D.C. right now?
Yeah. Well, it's no, it's the Trump parade.
What?
Pro-Trump?
Yeah, pro-Trump.
And they're not wearing masks or anything?
No.
Okay, so let me say it again. I've said this throughout the whole outbreak. I've said this throughout the outbreak. Whenever there are large gatherings of humans in the current situation before the vaccine, there will be spread of COVID. You will see escalation. So that's going to be intense coming from the levels that we're already at. So just expect lots of craziness in the press. We're going to get to a
Are they
pretty
all
high
getting a
level.
remdesivir goodie bag when they leave?
That's
Oh,
right.
is that
Oh,
what
God,
you took? Is that what they gave him?
They gave him
Yeah.
Regeneron.
Yeah.
I think they gave him Remdesivir too. You're right. They did. So,
I kind of know the words.
oh my God, that's pretty funny. All right, you guys, let's wrap this up. Let's get something to eat. We thank you all for stopping by
wait,
today.
That means I
That's
have to do my side here.
your side.
So once again, I want everybody to see,
Why don't you take the mic? Why don't you grab the mic so they can really hear
it
you?
was fine.
Okay.
Anyway, just a little event from Heather McDonald at Casa Edwards.
All right, we thank you guys. We'll see you on Monday.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, you bet, Drew. See you down there.
Love you.
Love you back.
Okay.
That is something you will never see me do with you.
With so much focus on keeping ourselves and our loved ones safe and healthy, it's easy to forget that most of us are going to experience things like allergies, colds, possibly even the flu. So, reminding you, proper hydration is crucial for all of these things. Remember, even slight dehydration can make you feel like you're getting sick, and none of us need that anxiety right now, that's for sure. That's where Hydrolyte comes in. Longtime fans will remember my obsession with Hydrolyte, which is simply the best oral rehydration product I've tried. I'm even more excited to introduce their brand new single-serve powder sticks. Simply pour one powder stick into a glass of water. They recommend 7 ounces. The powder dissolves almost instantly, creating the perfect balance of sodium, glucose, and water. Delivers up to 4 times the electrolytes of your typical sports drink. The other great news about Hydrolyte's new powder sticks, they're 100% all natural. No artificial flavors, colors, or sweeteners. They're available in flavors like orange and lemonade, and they taste great. Hydration is crucial, and Hydrolyte is fastest and easiest way to stay ahead of it. Get your supply of Hydrolyte powder sticks now at hydrolyte.com/DRDREW. Again, that's HYDRALYTE.com/DRDREW, and then use that code Dr. Drew 25 at checkout. The World Health Organization estimates that each year approximately 1 million people take their own life. That's one death every 40 seconds. Experts predicted numbers would peak in 2020, but no one could have imagined the devastation brought on by COVID-19. During the coronavirus pandemic, you may experience anxiety, sadness, and loneliness. Existing mental health conditions, including severe anxiety and major depression, may worsen. If you're feeling hopeless, contemplating self-harm, or you're concerned about someone else, I'm here to tell you there is hope. A Mission for Michael is dedicated to helping clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation. Mission for Michael is the premier resource for intensive mental health treatment in Southern California. With an astonishing 2-to-1 client-to-staff ratio, each client in their facility receives individual care 24 hours a day, overseen by a team of all doctorate or master's level clinicians. With a focus on evidence-based treatment, along with personalized and compassionate care, they offer mental health treatment that can change lives. If you're suffering from mental illness or you're concerned about a loved one, go to amfmtreatment.com. Again, that's a mission for Michael, amfmtreatment.com, or call 866-581-4401. Again, that is 866-581-4401. According to SAMHSA's National Survey on Drug Use and Health, approximately 20.3 million people above the age 12 suffer from substance use disorder. Incredible. The disease of addiction takes an average of 130 Americans every day. Sadly, the opioid crisis, which many consider the worst pandemic of our time, has been even further perpetuated by the spread of COVID-19. Since the start of the coronavirus outbreak, drug overdoses have increased by 18%. Factors like economic stress and social isolation have led to increased depression and unnecessary deaths. A Better Life Recovery is a premier addiction treatment center in Southern California, offering one of the most highly regarded and comprehensive addiction treatment programs in the United States. Dedicated to helping its clients achieve complete inner and outer transformation, they offer a 45 to 90-day program custom tailored to meet the needs of each individual client. Long-term is the way to go. Many of A Better Life's clients elect to stay up to 9 months to receive additional support. A Better Life Recovery will do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to ensure the success of every client. Are you ready for a better life? Go to abetterliferecovery.com or call 866-581-4401 now.